Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to start building on our signatures for our 6x6, actually it's 6.5 by 6.5 mini album. And we need to get started building our pages. And y'all know I'm crazy. I'm going to show you my cheat sheet. I made myself a grid. I made one for 6x6, 5x5, 4x4, and 3x3. And I put the different types of things that I want on my pockets. And it makes it so much easier for me whenever I'm doing something, because I know that each grid represents an inch. Yep, I'm crazy like that. So let's just kind of start here at the front, and we'll do this to the first page. So I need two pieces that measures 5 inches wide and 6 inches tall. So let's see, I pulled some of my scraps because I've got a lot of scraps. So I want to see if I can use some of these scraps first. All right, so we need 5 by 6. So let's see how tall this is. So this is almost 6. Actually, it is 6-ish. It's not cut square. So let's go ahead and just cut that down to 6. All right, so I can get both of my 5-inch pieces off of this. So I'm just cutting 5 inches and another 5 inches. Okay. So now that I have that on the 5-inch side right here, I want to score each one at 1/2 inch. Let me get my better scoring tool. So I'm just going to score at 1/2 inch and score this one at 1/2 inch. Let's fold these down. And I will probably come back and make my edges, probably do the corner chomp with a decorative corner or something. But while I'm just putting it together, I'm just going to leave everything square like it is. So I'm getting one of my pages out. And so on your signatures, how you know what's page 1, you want the side where it's folded to be here and on the bottom, so that when it'll fold down like this. So on this first page, these are going to be glued on like this right here. So they're going to open like that. So let's go ahead and get these glued down. And I'm just using my Bearly Art. And so I'm just going to get the page, and I want to line it up. And I'm just making sure I've got it lined up on the side and top to bottom. And then just squeegee that down. And then I need to open it, make sure no glue came out. Okay, so we're good there. Now we need to do this side. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing. And I actually, like I said, I have a lot of these bases already made up. I can show you in just a minute, because sometimes I'll just sit down and just make the bases all at one time. And so when I do need to do something like for an order or for a gift, all I have to do is just decide the paper that I want to put on it. All right, so there's that. Now I am going to end up putting magnets on this. And I'm going to put a magnet at the top here and the bottom here. And then it's going to go, the other magnets are going to go on this side. So I'm just putting M's there so that I know when I go to start covering it, I know not to cover that before I put my magnet down. All right. I think I also want to put a pocket in here. So our page is, what? Is that not glued down good? What on earth? All right, Barely Art, you better not be failing me, buddy. So let me get my little cheat sheet out for my pockets. So to do the pocket all the way across like I want to do, I want it to be 6 7/8 inches wide by 3 inches tall. And the reason I'm wanting it 6 7/8 is I'm going to be scoring a 1/2 inch on each side. So that will mean that this final end will be 5 7/8 inches wide. So it's not quite 6, because we want this to be able to close down without it there being any problem. So let me see. I know I've got plenty of scraps. I'm just trying to see if I got one that's smaller than that, but no, we'll use this. Okay, so let's cut this at 6 7/8. So I'm just cutting it a little bit shorter than what our page will be. And then I want to cut it at 3 inches, and it looks like it is already 3. Yep. Okay. So for this, we are going to score on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. So I want to do a 1/2 inch on this side. Then I want to do a 1/2 inch on this side. And then a 1/2 inch on that side. Why does that look bigger than? No, I guess it's right. Okay. It just looked wider. Now I want to miter my corners, so I'm just going to go right here and cut those corners off, because I don't want them interfering whenever I lay my paper down. And let's fold these over. Okay. Now what I like to do on this is I'm going to go ahead and glue just the bottom flap of this pocket in. So I'm wanting to make sure that I've got plenty of room, and see it closes good now. So I'm just going to glue just this bottom tab for right this second. And I'm just going to line it up, because I want to leave that little tiny, like 1/16 of an inch on each side. And so I want to make sure that both sides will close, and they will. And now the other thing I'm going to do real quick is I am just going to get some of my packing tape, and I'm just going to put a little strip over this right here. And what it'll do is, as I'm putting stuff in and out of the pocket, it won't get caught, and you won't be able to see this tape, because all of that will be covered up with paper. Okay, and so see, once that's glued down, you won't never see that. So I guess we can actually go ahead and start covering this, because I know the paper pad I'm going to use. I normally don't. Let me show you guys. So see, these are right ready just to have paper put on them already. They're all done. All I have to do is just put whatever paper on them I want and stick them into the album. That's what I said whenever I keep the stuff, I just keep a bunch of it already made up. So I guess we need to figure out what we want to put on the front of this album first. I don't really know about using this kit. I may use a fall kit. Let's see what I have. Oh, I got to tell you guys, I have got a massive Echo Park order coming that I am going to do a haul with. But guys, it may be 2 or 3 days of video, because I think I've got like 30 collection kits. I have like 100 different packs of ephemera and probably 10 or 15 6x6 pads. So I've got a ton. It was the warehouse sale, and I had a bunch of stuff in my cart and in my wish list, and I was like just looking back and forth trying to figure out what I wanted to get. And my husband seen that I was debating, and he handed me his debit card, and he said, get everything in your cart and on your wish list. So yeah, I've got all that coming. I'm just trying to look and see if there's one of these that I want to use. Because we can use this kit. Let's just try and use nothing but 6x6. That'll show you that you can use your 6x6. So let's just go maybe with this one. All right, so I need to cut this to 6x6 because, you know, it's got that little piece on it there. And I need to go ahead and get the front done so that I can know what papers I can use in there. And I need to be able to put the closure on. So you could mat this even more, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. I mean, I could, let me see if I have I don't know if I have a cardstock that would match right now. Let's see. That green mat would match. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to mat it. Or should I mat it on... Should I mat it or no? I don't know. Let me see what I got right here. I don't feel like getting up and going to my cardstock, but I do have some right here that I've been messing with. So let me just see what I've got. If I've got some right here that I can use, I will. Okay, so I think I do. I have some, this is a fall set here. So I guess we can use some. Let's go with this, the craft color. I need to get another one out because I need another one for the back. This is cardstock that I haven't yet put onto my shelves. Okay. So I want to cut this, the matting piece, I want to cut it at 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. And this is why I normally like to do everything, like do all of the matting at one time, do all of the page making at one time, because it takes a lot of space, and, you know, it takes more time whenever I'm having to get this out and put it up every single time I'm doing something. So normally I do this like as a mass make. Let me go ahead and cut the next one while I'm right here. 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay. So let's see how that will look. So that will go right there like that. I think that'll look good. And then this will go right there, and then we'll put like a cut apart on the front to decorate it. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this down to our paper mat. And again, this is just the Bearly Art. You could use double-sided tape for this, or, you know, your adhesive of choice, but I'm just using my Bearly Art. And then I'm trying to get this lined up where I have about the same amount of space all the way around. All right, and let's go ahead and let's glue it onto our cover. And then we'll need to do the back as well, because I need to put my eyelets in so I can do my closure. And again, I'm just trying to make sure I've got about the same amount all the way around. Okay, now we need to figure out the back cover. Well, where did I put my 6x6 book? Oh, here it is. Lord help me. So do we want to do the same thing, or do we want to go with a more solid color? Decisions. I don't know what I want to do. Actually, I think I'm going to go with that green on the back. So now I need to cut this at 6 inches. And we need to mat this. How many of you guys ordered from Echo Park's warehouse sale? All of my stuff will be here next week. So we will see how the videos come out. So I'm trying to do some batch recording because things get so busy. I don't know if that's glued down enough. We'll see. Things just get so busy, and oftentimes I don't have a lot of time to record. So I promised myself that I was going to start doing some batch recording so that I could stay on top of having my videos done. So if that's the case, there's no telling how the videos will come out, or, you know, what order or anything, but I'll do my best to kind of keep it halfway in an order. Why is this stopping up on me? Probably because I left the lid off of it. I mean, it was in the stand, but you're not supposed to leave the lid off of it overnight in the stand, and I left it off for a couple days in the stand. Y'all know me. Okay, so that's how that's going to look. And the reason I wanted to go ahead and do it is I just wanted to know what paper I was going to use on that part, so that now I can go on to this. So here we are again. All right, what do I want to use for this? Let's see. I want to pull out these cut aparts because I know that I'll be using some of those. I don't know that I'll use all of them because there's 2 pages of each, but my goodness, that's crazy. I do want to have them ready. Are these different? Is it that? Yeah. And then we start over. So there's like several pages of cut aparts in here. So I'm not sure that we're going to use all of them. I don't know why it's not wanting to pull out. I hate that when paper pads don't tear out good. Yeah, we're probably going to have to use some of the backs of those because I don't think there's enough papers in here to not use them all. I'm just tearing them all out because I'm not going to fight with it. Sorry guys, y'all know I'm crazy. And my ADHD gets the best of me. I start on something and then see something else and then I have to get that done. Okay. So let's see. That's our cover. What about if we had, we got to see what's going to look good to go on both sides though. So I'm thinking I might want to do a solid on these. When I say a solid, it's more like a pattern. And then do something like this down in here. Okay, I think that's what I'll probably do. So this needs to be, if this is 6 inches by 4.5 now, we want to do 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. So this needs to be 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. Now let's see if that's the size I want before I do anything. Yeah. Okay, so I want to do the same thing on this side. So let's do 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. And then on the these inside pieces here, I'm just going to do a white cardstock so that it can be used for journaling. So I need 2 pieces that are the same size. That's not it. Where's my cardstock? My white cardstock. Well, my goodness, Betty Renfro, I didn't bring my white cardstock over, I don't guess. I'm just looking to see what I got here so I don't have, trying not to get up and get more. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to use some of these fall colored pieces and be done with it. So let's see. I want to keep the, let's use a brown. So I need 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. So let's do 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. And 5 3/4. Okay. So what did I do with the other one? Oh, there it is. So I do want to make these a little decorative. So I'm going to take this paper punch and I'm going to round both of these corners right there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So that means I need to do the same thing on 2 corners of each of these papers so that it will match up. Is that right? No, that is not right. What did I do? This should be 4 so it should be 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. I've done 4 3/4 apparently. My goodness. That definitely was not right. One of y'all were probably yelling at me when I done that. So let's do this. And then we got to put our magnets on before we can finish matting everything. Okay, so my magnets are going to need to go here and here. So let me go ahead and put a magnet on this section here. And I think we could get by with a smaller magnet since I'm using 2. And I'm just going to get a little piece of tape and tape that right there. And I don't know that I could get by with those really, really tiny ones, but I think we can get by with these. I wonder how strong those tiny, tiny ones are. Man, these things are strong. Let's just do this one, these little ones for now, so that I know that they'll be done. Okay, so I'm just going to take my tape back off. And I'm just going to stick my magnets down. And then I can go ahead and glue down this piece, whatever I've done with it. So let's put this one there. So I'm just gonna get my glue and glue all around it. All right, this glue is aggravating me today. This is not working for me. All right, we ain't gonna fight with it right now. Probably need to clean it really good. So I'm just laying this down where I've got about the same amount of black all the way around. And I especially want to get the edges. I'm not pressing down where the magnets are, but I am pressing down around the edge. And then we can go ahead and also glue this side down because our magnets are going here. So I can go ahead and glue this part down with no problem. So let's do that. And I'm just lining it up. Okay. So there's that. Now I need to get my magnets onto the other part. So what I normally do is I just take 2 of the magnets and I just drop them and let them go where they are. You know, that way I know that they're sticking to the right place. I know that they're the right direction. So that's all I do. And then I will cut 2 pieces of tape and I'll put it on top of those magnets. Okay. And so I'm just going to pull that backing off of the tape. Just like that. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my folder and I'm just going to close it down. And so now I have my magnets exactly where they need to be. And so now I can just glue this down. That is the easiest way to do those magnets. And that way I know that I've got the right sides on there and I know that they're in the exact spot that they need to be. So again, I'm just pressing down the edges. I'm not really pressing down where the magnets are. Look at that. Ha, yeah. Let's go ahead and glue this side down. And I'm just gluing it down with hopefully about the same amount around it. Okay, so now we need to figure out what we're going to do on this spot right here. And I don't need a full sheet right here, because you know what, we may come back to this one because we might be able to use some scraps. So we're not going to close that up yet. We do have that though. I love the way that sounds. Yes, I do. Okay, so let's see, what do we want to do for this page here? I don't know if I want to leave it blank. I'm just looking to see. We can go ahead and cover it because I may leave that page blank. Actually, I think I want to use, I don't know. Let's do, we can just do a regular pocket here. So let's go ahead and glue our back down. I think I'm going to use that. So we will cut this at the 6. Now, do I want to mat this or no? Oh no, this needs to be 5 7/8. I forget. This is the inside. Let's do it at the 5 7/8, and that won't give us a lot of, it'll give us some gap, but it won't give us too much, I don't think. I think I like that. You could go down to 5 3/4, but we're just going to do it the 5 7/8 for now. And I'm just gluing that down right there like that. Now I will come back and I'm going to go ahead and glue my pocket down that I'm going to put, but I'm not gluing any paper on it just yet because I don't know what paper I want to put on it. We're going to try and cover that up with scrap. So this is like 6 inches by 2 inches, and it was just a scrap that I seen measured 6 inches, so that's why the pocket is 2 inches. You could do it whatever size you wanted to, but I just try to use my scraps on stuff like that. And this one does not have any gussets or anything, which it's fine. Okay, so do we want to put anything down on this page? Let's go ahead and do, let's leave this blank for right now, because let's go ahead and get this done. So for this here, you are going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 5 1/2 inches tall by 11 inches wide. Okay, and then on our 11-inch side, we are going to score this at 5 1/2 inches. And then we're going to fold it over. And so what this is going to do, this is going to slip into this right here. This will be glued shut, the top here, and then this part is what's going to connect it to our spine. So it'll be like this. So So you'll have it like this, where you have your page there, then it'll open here, and then when this opens, this right here will come out. So I want to it's not measuring right, but it's okay. I'm going to do my edges like this. Now I am going to want, when I put this in, I want this to have a magnet. So I am going to put a magnet like right here, and we'll put a magnet right here. So we can go ahead and cover this part. And I think I'm going to cover this with some of the plain cardstock, because I am going to use like one of the journal cards or something as the embellishment part for it. So I'm just getting a piece of paper, trying to see if that green matches. I think it does. Or should I go with the brown? You know what? I'm just going to go with the craft color to make sure that we get it. So this one is 5.5 by 5.5. So I want my paper mat to be, let's do 5.25 by 5.25 and see how that looks. 5.25 by 5.25. Okay, so let's round or do a little punch on those two edges there. Let's see how that looks. I think that looks good. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Okay. Just going to glue it down halfway even. And then we'll put an embellishment on it. So I'm going to have a magnet here. Now I need a magnet here. So what do I want to put down on that page? I'm thinking I might want to put, I think I want to put this down right here. So let's cut this at 5.25 by 5.25. Is that what I said? Yeah, 5.25 by 5.25, because that's 5.5. Let's make sure. No, this needed to be, I got this thing on my mind. Oh well, this will go somewhere. I don't want to put that there. I guess I could put that there. I'm going to wait. So I needed that to be 5.75 by 5.75. So see, guys, let's try this again. So 5.75 by 5.75. Let's make sure that's correct. Okay, so that's correct, but I need to put my magnet down. So I'm just going to use one of those next to the smallest ones again. And what did I do with my tape? I don't know where I put that one. Is that it? Maybe. I don't know. It's going to work though either way. So I just want to put that down. And then put my magnet on top of it. And then we can go ahead and glue this down. Okay. And then we just need to put the magnet. So we'll probably just finish this one signature today and may not even actually finish it because I won't be able to put all of the pages or the cardstock on it until I get the other signature done. You know, the pages that I know I need the bigger ones on. And then we'll come back, I guess it'll be Monday. So now I need to do my other magnet. And that way I know I got it on the right spot. Now let's pull this off. Maybe. All right. And so I'm going to take my card and I'm going to stick it in there where I would want it, and then just press down. And there we go. So now we can cover this. And I actually think I want to do a white on that. I thought I might have had some in my... We can make that work. So let's do this at 5 1/4 high. Because I think we can make that work. Yeah, and let's just do our little edge here. And now let's glue it down. Get down. So there's that. And so when this goes in, it will magnetize down. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Lord, I didn't realize this video was going to be this long. It's probably going to take forever to upload. But, oh well. Okay, I think what I want to do on this page is this right here. So I need 3 pieces. Let me get this stuff back out of the way for now, because I'm not going to put any of the decorative cardstock on the rest of the album for tonight, so that we can hopefully get at least this part of it done. Okay. I just can't work when it's all messy like that. So I need to have 3 pieces of my black cardstock. I need them to be 6 inches tall, along the same height as my journal. And then this one I need to be 5 1/8 for the first one. So let me just see. Okay, so I can cut this at 6. And I need this piece to be 5 1/8. Okay, and then I need another one that's 6 inches tall. And I need it to be 4 5/8. And then I need another one that is 6 inches tall by 4 1/8. I don't know if I have one in here. I may have to cut some. Oh, here's a piece. All right, so I need 6 inches tall by 4 1/8. And then I also need a little strip that is 4 inches wide Okay, and I want it to be about 1.5 inches, 1 inch and 5/8, something like that. That it doesn't, that part really don't matter too much. All right, so what you want to do on these pieces here, so for the first one, on this 5 1/8 inch side, I am going to score it at 1/2 inch. Then the next one on the 4 5/8 inch size, I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch, maybe. And then on the 4 1/8, I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. And then our little piece that is 4 inches by 1 5/8, on the 4 inch side, I am going to score it at 1/2 inch. And so now what I want to do is I want to burnish these down. Okay, and so I'm going to start with my largest one, and I am going to glue it to the side of this page. And I just want to line it up and make sure I get it even, top, bottom, and side. And then once it's like that, I'm going to burnish that down. Okay. Then I'm going to take the one that measured 4 5/8, and I'm going to just glue that directly on top of that one. Just lining everything up. And then burnish down. And then the one that is 4 1/8, I am going to do the same thing. I don't feel like it's lined up right there. Okay. Get that lined up. And then we can burnish that down. Okay, so that's how that goes. Now this, I want to do the same thing. I want to fold that over, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this just off of that center line, and I'm going to try and get it as centered as I possibly can, which y'all know me, it's probably not going to be centered at all. But I'm going to try to get it halfway centered. Okay, just like that, because that is also going to be a magnetic closure. There will be a magnet here, and there will be a magnet here, and so this will keep all of these closed. So I'm not putting my papers on these yet, so I'm just going to put an M and an M, and that way I know that I need to do a magnet. All right, the last one I'm going to do today, I need 2 pieces that measure 6 inches by 5 inches. So let's see what I have. What size are these? All right, let me just cut some so we can, so I need 5 inches. Y'all, I know my cutting thing is not in the camera range, and I apologize. And 6 inches. Okay, so I need another one that's 5 inches and 6 inches. Okay. All right, so on the 5-inch side, we want to score each one of these at 1/2 inch. And these are going to go on the top and bottom, similar to the way we done the ones on the front that was side to side. So these will go, one will go here and one will go here. So let's go ahead and glue that on. I just want to make sure I get it lined up. Okay. And then I want to glue the bottom one on as well. And I want to make sure I get it lined up with that bottom and the sides. Okay, so there's that. Now, the last thing I want to do to this right now, because like I said, I'm not going to glue any more paper down right now because I did not realize that this video was as long as it is. This will also have a magnetic closure, so there will be a magnet here and here, and then here and here. And so, and let's go ahead and let's put a belly band in there. Yeah, that one's 6 inches, so let me just cut it down some. I'm just going to cut it to 2 inches, so it will be 2 by 6. And that's subject to change depending on what scraps I have left over. And so that belly band would go just right there like that. All right, guys, we're going to call that done for today because I don't know if this thing's even going to upload with it being as long as it is. But we're going to see what we can do. Tomorrow or Monday, we will work on the next signature so that we can get this little baby put together. I'm just showing you how it would look in there. So that's how it would be. And you open it, and then you would have your little flaps like that. Then we had that. We'll have something there. Then we have this. This will be magnetized, and then this will be magnetized. So yeah, it's coming together. It's just, it takes a little bit of time. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this so far. I don't know if I will do my Echo Park haul before the next video or if it'll be the one right after it. But it will be coming up like one day next week as well. So let me know what you guys think so far, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.